Well, good day guys, welcome back to another series on U-Boat, not just another episode. Starting a brand new series on board U-552. So here we are in the German port, 1942, and we're just loading up the boat here, making sure we've got everything that we can. We don't really have a lot of money, but the main priorities are fuel and torpedoes and coffee as well. We won't be needing those helmets or breathing apparatus, we can get rid of those. So as it's the first episode of the series guys, make sure you give it a good like and a comment on the video. It just helps the algorithm out to get the video out there to more people. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. So just gotta run around, make sure that we're doing everything that we need. We probably don't need that much flak ammo. We can sell some of that, that will give me extra cash, and I want to carry more deck gun ammo in its place, just in case we have to have any surface engagements. Now we don't have a snorkel at the moment, so we probably will be having more surface engagements than usual. So let's just get that boat loaded up and we shall talk to the boss man over here, see what he has to say for us. What missions do we have? We have the happy time, so that's like the Arctic convoys of the previous playthrough. We have attack scupper flow, we'll get round to that when we have a snorkel. We have this weather station on Bear Island and the Enigma recovery. Well, these are all things that we can do. And join the port of La Rochelle as always. We will do that eventually, but quite happy to be based out of Germany for a change this time. So where are we going to go first? I think this looks like a good idea. All of these missions kind of require a snorkel for us, and we don't have that yet, so let's just get out there and try and sink a few tons today. Get a few under our belt nice and early, and that should set ourselves up for the rest of the campaign. Now, direction wise, do not want to be going through the English Channel at this stage. Probably die before we even start, so let's go the long way round. We might be able to pick ourselves up a few ships on the way round, but we don't want to be tangling in the English Channel without a snorkel for sure. It's risky business. But early stages of the war, America's not involved yet, so it's just kind of us against the British at this stage. So let's get out there and I'll bring you back in when we find something good. Okay, we've got our eyes on a little convoy here, so we're going to start off, and there's a destroyer or two definitely in the way. We're going to want to tangle with these, get these out the way. That's going to open it up. Oh, what's this ugly view? It's not the one that we like. We like this one, full view. So we're going to set the sails up. As you may have seen on the left hand side of the screen, I do have the TDC Mod installed. Yet to be successful with it really, but we're going to do it the old fashioned way for now. Apart from, I'm going to use the tool here for angle of bow, as I normally just use the map for that. So I've got a couple of mods installed for this series. I've got the TDC, I've got something called slow sinking ships. We'll have to see how that goes. And we also have variable speed for the enemy ships. As you saw, that one was 4, but I think it's more like 5. I've already checked. And for using the angle of bow, we'll use this tool here. which is a little bit different to what we were doing before. So we're about 49 degrees to the left. So 49 degrees to port is what the captain of that ship that we are looking at is looking at. 49 degrees to his left is where we are looking from. Is how to use that tool. Okay, first strike, that's good. First attack, first hit. Hopefully it's going to be enough to do the business. So that's going to open up the rest of the convoy for us. Now to see how well this mod with the slow sinking goes. And she's fully damaged. I'm thinking it's realistic sinking, not properly slow sinking. Don't really have time to sit here and watch it sink. We want to just get the credit for it, and then we can get on with sinking other ships as well. Well, she is taking her sweet time to go down. The flooding has gone all the way down, so I would have thought she would have sunk by now, but it must have been about an hour of in-game time for this, and it still hasn't gone down. So we don't really have time for this. If it's going to be like that, I can only imagine what a big tanker or something is going to be like. And if we're 100 kilometers up the ways because we've evaded, then how are we going to get the recognition to know that if we've sunk it or not? So I'm not really sure if that would still count if we did decide to get cruising and ended up 100 kilometers away. Would we still get the credit, or would we never know? I'm not really sure if I like that mod. If you know the answer to that, let me know in the comments, but from what I can tell and imagine is that if you're 100 kilometers away, you're never going to know if you got the credit to send it off. But being a game, possibly it might, so I'm not sure. But if we got to wait an hour and a half to watch it sink every time, I don't think it'll be worth keeping on. Okay, we're back with the convoy. They're just coming into range now, and I was going to go for that front freighter, but it looks like we've got another destroyer that we could do with taking care of. We could also do with some red lighting on because it's a little bit dark. I'm struggling to see now, kind of just a silhouette. So let's have a look. So we're going to go back into using our protractor to do our angle about. So you go from your boat to their boat and then out through the front. That gives us 60 degrees, and because he is looking towards his right to meet our ship, we go 60 degrees to the starboard side. So it sounds a little bit confusing doing angle of bow, but it's a little bit more realistic than the way I used to do it in previous campaigns, which was just draw one line on the map and say that he is traveling roughly at 220 degrees or whatever, and you just plug the same thing in for every ship. So it's a little bit better to just mix it up because it can be different for every ship. So we click on that and then we go 60-ish degrees, plug that in, do a distance check just the normal way that we would have done in previous episodes as well. And we will get round to using the TDC eventually. I just need to practice with it because I've had a couple of failed attempts so far and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I just need to figure it out. If I start making a couple of kills with it, then we'll bring it in. Just need a fair bit of practice and don't have enough torpedoes on one ship to just keep missing every time. It would be a fairly boring episode if I just missed every torpedo. go out with 12 and come home with none. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to see this boat right now. It's just a silhouette and it's a little bit bumpy out there. Can hardly see the back, but I think it's about there. 4 knots. So I used to just punch every ship in as 7 knots previously, so it's kind of, is it 4 knots? I know it's variable ship speeds and stuff on this mod, but 4 knots just seems a little bit slow. It's the kind of speed you would be doing in the harbour. So we're going to use this, pause the game. We're going to put a mark at the front of this ship here, and then we're going to grab our stopwatch and we're going to time this ship, because the TDC mod comes with a little chart. So if we time this for, I think it's a couple of minutes, we'll do, and then we check the chart and then we see how far he has travelled. There's 1 minute, coming up on 2, so we'll stop there, pause the game, and now we'll pull up the chart. Now we need to put a point down and then use our ruler, and we measure from point to point. Okay, and then we need to figure out how long a ship is. See, I'm learning all of this as I go. Okay, so let's just have a look at this map here, or this grid. It will give us, oh no, 1 minute or 3 minutes. Well, we did 2 minutes, and I don't think it would be a good idea to try and work out halfway. So we might just need to just do it again the old-fashioned way. Use the old tools that the game gives you to do it. It might well be 4 knots, but I just think it might also be a false reading. I just want to double check it, so I guess we'll just have to go back to using this tool and we'll give it a quick double check, and if it's all good then we'll get a torpedo in the water. Okay, just about stop the clock there, and it is 4 knots, so we will get 2 torpedoes. I think is probably for the best. Get those loaded, get those in the water, and that will open up the rest of the convoy for a couple more attacks hopefully. So tube 1 and 2 away. Okay, looking fairly good. Okay, not looking good at all. Got a miss there, that's 2 torpedoes gone to waste. So we're going to have to realign up for another attack here. Okay, I was going to go back for that destroyer, but we've got ourselves a C3 cargo here, and I think that is going to be a more valuable target for us, seeing as we need to sink some tonnage while we're at it as well. So let's just recognize it as a C3, check her distance, which should be close enough for a torpedo attack, and it is. And then we're going to go in, we'll do a quick speed check first, and then we'll do the angle of bow. Not going to use the TDC just yet. I might not even bring it into this episode, it's just there as an option. I just need to get some practice in with it before I make an attempt. Okay, they are considerably slower than what I'm used to, so she could possibly still be doing 4 knots, just like the destroyer that was with it. Let's find out now. 5 knots, okay. So I don't know if they've sped up, or is she doing 5 knots on her own and the other ship is doing 4. So basically the same with the protractor there. So 87 degrees to their right is what we are, and not using TDC. Keep that light in the red, and tube 3 and 4 are going to come for the C3 now. Okay, 2 good hits there on RC3. She's not blazing with a fire, but there is a small fire on the deck. So that's not too bad. It's definitely going to be some tonnage for us if it does go down. Yep, damage is looking good. About 75% damage. Roughly there. Hopefully it's going to just end up being a little bit more and going down all by itself, but we'll have to wait and see, because this, if that first destroyer was anything to go by, this cargo ship might take all night to go down. And I don't really want to sit here waiting for that. I've got plenty of other things to get on with. So let's see if we can intercept this radio message. What is it that's happening? So this is the one that we've just attacked, I think. Unless it's another one. Let's say Echo. Who's Echo? Let's just see what they are trying to say to each other. So, Empire Fulmar has been torpedoed. Yes, you have. And Echo is saying what this is encrypted. Okay, so we can't figure out what it is that they've said, but we can kind of keep pursuing the radio signal. Wow, we don't want to be doing that. Let's have a look at you. You gonna go down yet? Or are we just gonna go and have to watch the Lord of the Rings series or something before that happens? So yeah, I may remove that mod for the next episode, just in case it's taking too long. And also really need to work as quickly as possible to get ourselves a snorkel, because I just feel so vulnerable without that. And also it's really annoying having to keep coming back up and down for air and charging the engines. So much more efficient to just stay at periscope depth the whole time and get on with it, and you can just shadow the convoy for days at a time. You don't have to worry about the batteries running out and the air quality as well. So that's my highest priority right now, is getting the research done for that so we can upgrade the ship. And then as soon as we've got that, that opens up all the other avenues as well of travelling through the English Channel, the Gibraltar Strait, and also going through Scupper Flow. And I'm 100% committed to trying to find the Nelson in this series. Never found it yet, but now that the option is there for the attack of Scupper Flow, so we definitely want to be trying to go and sink the Nelson if we can. Okay, we've left that C3 back there a little bit, but we'll go back and check up on it. Hopefully it's managed to sink itself by now, but if it hasn't, we'll just go back down the line and hopefully we'll pick up its masts or something if we get close enough. But we don't have time to sit around waiting days and days for something to go down. So let's just take a look at what we've got coming at us now. So a couple of Empires by the looks of things. Looks big on the map, not quite so big in the flesh. So we've got another Empire here. So these are all kind of deck gun material at the moment. Not really seeing much in the way of resistance here. So it could be a surface engagement if we're lucky. No escorts here just yet, so let's just keep moving in. See if anything happens. Not really much. Escort at the front. Well, we definitely don't want to be surfacing right now. Let that carry on a little bit. Okay, and I've got a couple at the back. Okay, what are they? So just a Flower class corvette and one of those other corvette as well. So which target do we want to be going for? I reckon this one closest to us. We'll just do a quick sneak attack. So got an angle on bow of about 77. So nice and easy. 77 to their right, that is. Always need to remember to do your left and right, otherwise you'll be trying to shoot behind you if you don't get it lined up properly. So it looks like this guy. Oh, not that guy, this guy, much closer. Okay, so course 77 and okay, lock, unlock, relock, recognize, Empire Explorer with the mast in the middle. Yep, not a tower, not a bell. So perfect distance. We'll do a quick speed check because we can't just be guessing 7 knots anymore. This new mod could be anything. 4 knots seems a little bit too slow, but you never know if it is. And back of the boat comes through. Stop the boat there. 4 knots again. So maybe 4 is the new 7. Seems a little bit slow for me, but okay, we'll roll with it. Tube number 1, flood and fire. Okay, that looks like a solid hit on this Empire ship here. Got a bit of a fire ablaze in the center, and hopefully it's going to be enough to at least put her on standby, keep her away from the rest of the convoy. But we'll just have to see what this what this mod's actually going to make happen now. It's not quite as simple as strike and finish as the base game is. Oh, well, she's not actually that damaged anyway. She's in pretty bad shape, but she's not as bad as it seems. Not even 50% damage, so we might have to come in for a second attack here. It wasn't really part of my plan. So like I said earlier about the tonnage being registered, we haven't registered any. So that C3 either hasn't sunk or we don't know if it has. So we will have to go and find it and finish it off, possibly with a deck gun. Maybe it's already gone, who knows, and we didn't get any credit. It's fine if we do or don't get the credit. I just want to know how it works. I didn't really do any research into it. I just thought, oh, that sounds cool. Kind of more realistic sync times. But I think for the purposes of making a series on YouTube, probably just best to make that stuff happen as quickly as possible. So it looks like we're going to evade these guys, but I want to get around them just so we can see if we're going to actually sink this Empire. But what is this Lone Ranger that's cruising on up here? Let's see if we can deal with this thing first. And if it's not flying a neutral flag, then we can take it down, and then we can try and rejoin the main convoy in a little while when they've calmed down. So what are you? You're a British oil ship. Okay, well you are definitely worth a few thousand tons. So I think we should probably try and do an attack with you, because if we don't find that C3, we are going to be really struggling to make up these 10,000 tons. We don't want to be returning to port with a mission fail already. That wouldn't go down well for our first patrol, so let's see if we can line up a torpedo attack for this Dale class. I think it's a Dale class or an old class. Get this attack sorted out. We want to be pretty much looking dead ahead at 0, slightly left. Oh, there she is. A little bit further to the left than I thought there, but that's alright. So she is tanker, not a war class. Going the wrong way. Don't think it's a T2. Old class is possible. I'm not 100% convinced. Dale class is literally what it looks like right there. I think I'm pretty happy with the Dale. Recognize that. Speed check. Again, could be doing 4, could be doing 10. Can't guess it with this new mod. Okay, and the back of the boat. Stop the clock. Okay, so 8 knots there. See, can't predict it, which is a good thing. I do quite like that out of the 2-3 mods that I've put on. I do think the TDC is a good idea. I just haven't had enough practice with perfecting it yet. And using this method to get the angular bow just makes things a little bit more interesting as well. So let's go with that. It's about 32 degrees to the starboard side. Now let's just chuck a torpedo in the water and hopefully we'll get a hit here on this big tanker. That should register quite a lot of tons for us. And we can always, because this is unescorted, just come back later, like the C3 cargo that we have to find yet, and use the deck gun if we need to, just to steal the deal. That's really annoying that we're almost out of oxygen already, so we need to surface up the ship, recharge some batteries. Now we're going to be on the surface and possibly having escort ships coming at us, or aircraft. We're not that far off the mainland, so really do miss having the snorkel. It's like going out without having a mobile phone in your pocket. You just don't know what to do with yourself. So we're gonna have to. We've missed well with that torpedo, by the way, so we are going to get right in there with the deck gun now because they are unarmed. Haven't surfaced enough yet, so you can jump onto the deck gun. Now there should be no resistance from this. The only thing we need to watch our back for is just in case we have any enemy destroyers coming from that convoy, which I don't think we're going to be able to get to catch up with anymore, because we are pretty much out of torpedoes. Okay, we are well short and then well over. Let's see if we can get a hit here. A little bit bouncy around. Got one good hit there. Okay, she's taken quite a bit of damage now. We've had a few shots. Actually wasted quite a bit of ammo. I wouldn't say wasted ammo, but use a lot of ammo to try and get this ship to go down. Covered in black holes, but that's alright. Haven't had any major fires on board just yet. There we go, we got an explosion. A couple more of those might do good. So let's just slow down a little bit. I imagine she will be slowing right down now. Better just stop. Just keep pumping holes into the side of that. Hopefully it's going to go down pretty quickly, but that is going to be our registered tonnage for the trip. Would be nice to get a lot more than that, obviously. I was kind of hoping to get the 50,000 that I needed on my first patrol, but must be a little bit rusty. Missed a few torpedoes. You know, missing torpedoes, you don't get hit, so we're not going to get any tonnage if we keep missing. Okay, she's fully damaged. She had quite a few explosions and fires on and all that. So I'm hoping I'm just going to keep pumping her full of shots because I want it to go down quickly so that we can get this tonnage registered. And that way we can be on our way and try and find that C3. And if we can pick ourselves up a couple of lone cargo ships like this, then that'll be really good for us because that will put our tonnage right up with no resistance. Okay, so she's come to a stop now. Is she going to go down? So you can see how long it takes for them to go down. Well, there we go. She is under the waves. Well, that's good. That's going to register our tonnage, but it hasn't told us that we've sunk it just yet, though. But it's going to be a ship down. Okay, we got the registered tonnage for the tanker, and we're just pulling up to our C3 that is now sitting here dead in the water. Now I don't know if I should go down the line as well to see if the Empire that we struck with the torpedo is still sitting somewhere, or if that's still travelling with the convoy. If it's still travelling with the convoy, it's kind of a waste of time anyway, because we're not going to be able to finish it off. But we are going to be able to finish off this C3 cargo here, which is sitting dead in the water with quite a bit of health actually. A lot more health than I would have thought would sit dead in the water. But the health just went right down there with one solid hit from the deck gun. Maybe just a couple more is going to do the job. It's just a case of waiting for it to take on water, but again as with the oil ship there, we'll put a few extra rounds in just to speed the process up. I don't know how badly this mod is going to be affecting the sinking of these things, but it used to be pretty damn quick in the vanilla version of the game, so a couple more shots I think, and then we'll just use some time compression just to see what the ship is going to do. But they have abandoned ship, so we may as well see if we can take some prisoners on board. First patrol, we want to make sure we get all the XP that we can. And I'm looking for a captain if they have one. Any captains, any officers? No, so let's just take 8 people, doesn't matter who. Okay, just using our time compression here now. Been sitting here watching this for ages. This is just far too long, in my opinion. If you like using that mod on your game, then fair play to you, but for me, just trying to make the YouTube videos, it doesn't really work out that well in my opinion. But she is eventually going to sink. Is she? See, it's just it's quite stubborn, isn't it? Oh well, just leave it. It's what it is. But this is on time compression, 150 times speed, look, and it's taking far too long. So yeah, I think I will definitely remove that at the end of this episode, or the beginning of the next playthrough, because that is just far too much, unfortunately. Might try and have a look at the workshop though and see if there's a couple of other mods that we can maybe add into the game. But we still have our patrol to do here, so let's just do that. We've done the tally for the trip. So far it's not the best tally, but it is something. At least we're not going home empty-handed today. So let's just get this kilometers clocked up. Okay, welcome back to port. Klaus Graf gets himself a new decoration, Iron Cross second class and Iron Cross first class, and halfway towards the next level as well, so that's quite a bit. And tonnage 19,000, so not even really a third of what I was hoping to achieve. And we only sunk 3 ships, one of them being a destroyer. That's really bad. We did get ourselves a new officer, so that means we could probably put him away doing some research for us if possible. Try and get that snorkel sorted out. So we need to reload the boat. See, we did use up all of our torpedoes and we didn't really sink anything. So T2s are my high priority. That's what we want first, and then we can take T1s. But T2s are much better at this stage of the game. T1s tend to be duds, and they also leave a trail of steam in the water. Just top up food as well. I want to make sure that these guys are going to be satisfied while we're away. Coffee is always high priority. Don't have enough officers on the boat, and we need to replenish some deck gun ammo as well. Make sure that we've got everything we can. Okay, and I think we've got some survivors on board. Let's get rid of these. Some extra XP for us. Say goodbye to you. And can we have a look at headquarters? Snorkel is there. Oh, we don't have enough. Are you kidding me? We'll come back to that as soon as possible. Well, that's it guys. Hope you've enjoyed the first episode of this new series. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you did. We will be bringing the TDC in. It's just a case of me getting a bit of practice, so there might be one failed attempt per episode. If it's a success, we'll keep it going, but if it's failing, we'll just do it once per episode and just try and get better and better as it goes on. So I'll see you in the next episode.